What's going on, guys, and welcome to my Resident Evil 3 Remake review. This is a video that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. A lot of you probably believed I wasn't going to do it, but I'm here to fulfill my obligation and my promise to finally review this video game that I really love. Even though, yes, it does have problems, and yes, there are some things that do need to be talked about, and there are some concerns. Let's start with the story. So what is this game about? Resident Evil 3 is about Jill Valentine, of course. It's about her getting out of the city. Unfortunately, she didn't leave soon enough, and then another outbreak has occurred. And now she is being hunted by Nemesis. Now she needs to work with Carlos and his gang of mercenaries to get out of the city. And that's pretty much the whole story in a nutshell. There's nothing too crazy, like, for example, in Resident Evil 2, where you see the police chief and his whole thing with Sherry and, his whole diabolical scheme to, working with Umbrella and all those guys. It's not that deep. It is pretty plain and simple. Yes, there are notes scattered around that kind of show you more about what happened, but that's about it. And I'm glad it's not so complex. It doesn't have to be so complex. It can rely more on its gameplay, or it's just, basic-ass story, which I'm fine with. It's fine. Alright, so let's talk about some of the characters by themselves. Jill Valentine. Now, when they showed off Jill Valentine and Carlos, I'll get to Carlos soon, but when they showed off Jill Valentine, I was nervous. Because we live in an era where it is very easy for these developers to, appease a group of people. So there was some of that. There was a few articles. There was I think in a few magazines or an interview where they were talking about, the sexuality of Jill and not having her look like a, whatever. So they removed the skirt and they gave her pants. And I'll be honest, I was like, that's fine. Because her boobs are still gigantic. So thank you that you didn't make those tiny. So the first thing I want to say, Jill out here looking fine. Like when I was playing as Claire, I think one of the things that I noticed immediately about Claire was she had this huge hip pouch on her behind, but now Jill kind of just has these little tiny cop pockets, which I like. It really works for her. So one of the things you will also notice is she's wearing pants. She's not wearing the skirt. We will get to the classic suit, the classic outfit, because I do have a lot to say about that. And then the model herself, I was like, Jill looks fine. She looks like Jill. She looks good. If I had any criticism about Jill, I would probably say that I feel like that she swears too much. I feel like in the original Resident Evil 3, there were a lot more better moments or better lines with Jill, just her not swearing. Every time that she swore, it kind of threw me out. There was a scene at the very end of the game where she's fighting Nemesis, and she says a little cheesy line. These things that, yeah, there they are. Oh shit. Yeah, he's gonna attack. Shoot that. Yeah, I love that she's being all sassy. But I heard that and I was like, yes, that sounds right. When she's not swearing and she's just saying cheesy, funny jokes like that, I was like, there you go, that's Jill. But when she's swearing, it really takes you out of the game. It took me out of the game. I was like, her swearing is so weird for me. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this character has sworn, I think, a few times in like maybe like the older games, like 5 or Revelations. But again, it's like it just threw me out. All right, so let's move on to Carlos, my favorite Mexican fiesta. I was very, very impressed with what they did with Carlos, because in the original game that he was just kind of so you get to play as Carlos, and you get to play as him in both games. But it feels like you get to play. I think you get to play as Carlos a lot more in the 3 remake than you did in the original, because in the 3 remake, you played as Carlos at the police station, and you played as Carlos at the hospital. So there was like 2 instances where he played as Carlos. So he got a little bit more longer time to play as Carlos. And I'm glad they did, because they really fleshed him out more. I was surprised. I mean, I sat there and I was like, wow, they really fleshed Carlos out. I mean, they didn't make him just the typical stereotype. I was making a lot of those jokes in my my gameplay review, but no, I got to a point where I just kind of stopped, because I was like, wow, they're doing a really good job with Carlos. I mean, he's going full like man on us in this game. Like, he's like saving Jill and stuff, and I was like, wow, like that's a lot more impactful than what they did in the original. Even though I did like the scenario where they were in the church a bit more than the hospital, but it makes sense to be in the hospital so that he can find the vaccine and stuff. So they tried to make more sense in that regard. So I was like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. Got Nikolai's greedy ass in here. Nikolai feels like Nikolai. I feel like there was a lot less dialogue, and you saw him a lot less than you did in the original, which is a little disappointing, but it doesn't really take away from anything, because those conversations never really went anywhere, because a lot of those conversations were just like, hey, this guy is fishy. This guy's kind of seems like a bad guy, doesn't he? So yeah, that's really what his character is in a nutshell. Nothing too much to talk about there. Now on to the big boy, Nemesis. Nemesis himself. I have a lot to say about Nemesis. Nemesis is probably another one of the reasons why I love the original Resident Evil 3 so much. Because Nemesis is one of the biggest challenges I think I've ever had in a Resident Evil game. Because this is a big monster who's just coming and chasing you nonstop. He's just giving you hell, man. He's just coming to get your ass. It's no joke. So it was really funny when people, like, I remember when we first got photos, and I remember one of the first things I said, I was like, man, I gotta shoot that fucking nose off. That nose has gotta go. Like, his design admittedly was a bit nah. He wore like a trash bag outfit in the remake versus his big black like coat in the original, I believe. And the trash bag was just I didn't like the trash bag. It was cool though to see him have his rocket launcher. It was cool. What the? Oh, Nemesis boy. Is that his rocket launcher? Oh, fuck. No. No! His rocket launcher! They have it in the game! It's gonna kill me! Holy shit, did you see him kill that zombie? He's gonna hit me! Oh my god! Sweet butter Jesus, run, Jill, run! Cool to see him have some of his other things in the game from the original, his tendrils and stuff. But if there's one thing I will say about Nemesis is they did a really bad job making him seem threatening. I think that has to do with a lot of things, and one of those big things is the city itself is not that big. The city is pretty small. I am disappointed with how small the exploration is in the game. When I played the demo, I was really excited because I was like, this is just a demo? This is just, wow. I thought, I expected it to be much bigger than what we got. Yes, you get to explore the hospital a lot. Yes, you don't get the clock tower, which is a little disappointing. I will admit that after giving it some time and after going back and forth, I can confidently say that the clock tower not being in the game is disappointing. That is a huge staple for a lot of people. Because one of the things that people did say was this game felt rushed. And I will admit there are a few instances where it does feel rushed. They could have added a lot more areas. They could have added a little bit more street levels. They could have made it a bit bigger like it was in the original game. Unfortunately, they decided to go with a much smaller area and a much smaller exploration, which did annoy me a little bit. And I think part of that problem was probably also a lot of the set pieces. A lot of the set pieces, yeah, they were cool. Yeah, they were fun for like the first once or twice times you see them happen. But then after that, it's just kind of like, okay, I kind of want to just explore now. Can you fuck off, Nemesis? Like, Nemesis got to the point where he was just annoying. He wasn't as big as and scary as and threatening like he was in the original, and that was a huge, huge problem. Unfortunately, yeah, Nemesis is not as cool as he was in the original. If you want to see Nemesis really give you a scare, go play the original, because the original is much, much better, in my opinion. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Yes, the original I would consider much better than the remake. However, that does not change my opinion on the fact that I think that Resident Evil 3 Remake is still a good remake nonetheless, but it does have issues. It has issues, and there are things that could have been better. Alright, so let's move on, and let's talk about the gameplay, which I kind of was already talking about a little bit. So what's the difference? What is the difference between Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3? Well, Resident Evil 2, they did this thing where in Resident Evil 2, you had defensive weapons, where if a zombie grabs you and you have a knife, or you have a grenade, or you have a flashbang, you just stab them, or you plop it in their mouth. And there you go, you were fine, 100%, no need to worry. Resident Evil 2 Remake does this thing where it likes to be very forgiving. If a zombie or whatever grabs you and you have a defensive weapon, as long as you use that defensive weapon, or as long as you have a defensive weapon, you're fine. Yeah, it sucks to lose your knife. Yeah, it sucks to lose your grenade. Yeah, it sucks to lose your flash grenade. But I got to the point in Resident Evil 2 Remake where I just got to the point where I was like, well, as long as I have a shit ton of defensive weapons, I will never die. And more or less that was the case. It was very easy, dare I say. I've beaten the game on hardcore mode so many times. I've even started to do the speed runs. I almost got all of them. I'm just having a little bit of trouble trying to get back into the flow of the game because I haven't played it in a while, but it's not that hard. The defensive weapons really do help. They really do make things a lot easier. Now we move on to Resident Evil 3, where you do not have any defensive weapons. You have nothing. Nothing. You got no defensive weapons. You have no means to defend yourself other than your gun, other than your knife, or your dodge ability. So yeah, they took the dodge ability from the original Resident Evil 3 and they put it in this game. And more or less it works. I feel like for me it's probably the same thing with the original, except a bit better, where it was like, okay, now I just have a dedicated dodge button. That helps, but you have to really, really time it. You have to time it really, really well. There are coins to make your dodges better, which does help. So that's cool. That's a plus. Easy dodge is a good thing to have. There was a dodge button in Resident Evil 3, but the dodge button was so like hit or miss that it was just hilarious. And what I mean by that is, so the same button you used to shoot, you would press R1, you hold R1 to aim, and then you press X to shoot. What they did was you press and hold R1 and then you would tap X just as an enemy was about to hit you or grab you. And that was how the dodge mechanic worked in Resident Evil 3. Now, there are speed runs of Resident Evil 3, the original, where they are really good at the dodge button. I don't rely on the dodge button, even though I should, but maybe I'll actually use the dodge button more, because I actually saw a cool-ass slow motion ability. I would love to actually show you guys that slow motion ability. Alright, come at me, bitch. Oh, shit! Oh, that's badass, man! I love that little roll she does. Okay, let me try this again. Or can I just run away? Could I just, like, dodge all these zombies if I really, really wanted to? I feel like that would save me bullets, but I would probably have huge problems. Here, let me try this again. Here, you ready? Ready? Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh! Oh, bitch! Oh, bitch! Oh, bitch! I like that. Alright. Ah, see, that's cool. Okay, so if you already picked up an item, all you have to do is press X. You don't have to, like, do an RE2 remake where you just have to keep pressing X, X, and over again. But now it just automatically does that for you. That's great. So yes, the dedicated dodge button is a plus. That is awesome. I'm really, really happy about it. I hope it doesn't... I hope that, you know... So it is really, really nice to have. It is really nice to have the dedicated dodge button. Alright, so let's move on to Nemesis. I talked a little bit about Nemesis, but I'll just go over it a little bit again. Nemesis, yes. Nemesis is the biggest difference between, for example, Mr. X and Nemesis. So you remember Mr. X, you know, that big guy in the trench coat with the little top hat? You thought he was a problem. Nemesis is 10 times worse. He runs at you. He shoots a rocket launcher at you. He can pull you in with tendrils. He's a force to be reckoned with, okay? He is probably what I would consider one of the best villains in Resident Evil besides Wesker, period. Like, he is a serious threat. So it is really, really cool to see that they did make Nemesis. They did give Nemesis most, if not all, of his movesets back. But, here's the but. Nemesis was reduced to a lot of set pieces. I think one of their biggest issues with this game was they relied on set pieces. That is not what you want to do here. Like every time, like I said a while ago, I said the set pieces became an issue because it just stopped being scary. It just kind of became like okay, now he's got a rocket launcher. Okay, video game, thanks for telling me. But in the original, it was like you had to actually visually see that he had a rocket launcher or he shot one at you and you got hit. That was scary because it's like, oh shit, he's got a gun now. He's got a big ass rocket launcher. Or oh shit, he pulled me with his tentacle. Or like you'd visually see it through gameplay, but instead they did the set piece where they did this cut scene and then you had that. I also forgot to talk about the flamethrower, but the flamethrower was just meh. It didn't matter. All it did was make him big and slow, which was kind of annoying. It was fine, but it was like all you gotta do, run around, shoot him in the tank, and then you're done. And then throw a grenade or two, and then that's it. The fight's over. So yeah, that was disappointing. Some of the boss fights were disappointing. I remember in the original game where you fight Nemesis a few times, where you actually had to fight him, but you also had optional fights with him. There were optional fights. You did not always have to fight Nemesis. You could have just run away, too. There were actual choices in Resident Evil 3, depending on the choices you picked, depending on the scenario that happened at the end of the game. So they took that out of the game, and they just gave you a straight story from beginning, middle to end. There was no choices, no nothing. That's just how it was. And that is disappointing. Alright, so let's move on to the controversies. Now, there were some controversies when this game came out. I've already kind of have touched on it, but I'll touch on it one more time. The classic outfit. this tricked me. I actually was tricked, and I'm kind of upset that the internet decided to tell me that this was not the classic outfit. And how I found this out was I just saw a bunch of YouTubers and people on Twitter talking about it, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks. So yeah, so what do I mean? People were calling her skirt a skort because it was basically shorts underneath her her sweater. Her iconic sweater, her iconic whatever. So yeah, they removed that. It is a skort, and it's kind of funny. I went back and I tried to replay the original game, and more or less, yeah, I could confirm that, yeah, it was a skirt. So yeah, that did kind of annoy me, and yeah, I did not realize that until after the first video of the game I made. I only talked about it, I think, briefly or more in the other videos. So yeah, that did suck. That did get under my skin. Another one of the controversies was the whole sex appeal, which I did debunk.
You mean the alley that's on fire?
Maybe. Surely a tall drink of water like yourself can put out a few flames.
Fuck you.
Man, okay, hold on a minute. They made Carlos extra thirsty in this game. So yeah, Carlos in the original Resident Evil game, he did kind of hit on Jill a little bit. But he's doing it a lot more in this game, I feel like, than he was in the last game, or the original. Just comes right off. Is that a fucking spider, yo? Is that a giant spider? Oh shit! Am I dead?
Get out! Gross.
Did Jill just get throated by a spider? I might have to blur that out. What'd I say? I told Nemesis no hentai, and now I gotta tell the spiders. That's gotta be blurred out. I gotta blur that out. But are those spiders? Because there is, when you do like the crawl, when you crawl under stuff, you can literally move the camera down and just get a good look at her ass. So sex appeal is technically still there, even though they try to sit there and tell you it's not. So that didn't really matter at the end. But the classic outfit was a big issue. The very fact that they did not give you the classic outfit, they didn't even give you the other outfits. They didn't give you the police outfit. They didn't give you the Dino Crisis outfit with Gina with the red hair. They didn't give you the fucking stupid fucking disco outfit of hers. They didn't give you the biker outfit. They didn't even give you that. They didn't give you nothing. Like, they just gave you the classic outfits, and they said, that's it, we're done. Bye-bye, guys. So, yeah, that pissed me off. I will admit, I'm not gonna lie. But there are a lot of things I did like about the game. I did like the fact that Carlos had a lot more screen time, and you got to play as him a lot more, and he got more time to be not just a stereotype, which was really, really, I'm surprised I liked it as much as I did. I wish that the last two Nemesis boss fights, or maybe not the last two, but those two middle fights, because there are four boss fights. There are two of them that are basically the fucking same, and that third boss fight I had such an issue with because it was just the same fucking fight. So yeah, there were a lot of issues. Oh my god, dude. I don't like that fight. I really don't. It's not that it's hard. It's not that it's easy. It's just, no. It's just it's the same fight. It's just the same fight. That's my problem with the fight. It's the same fight. It's just the second boss fight, but it's just like a little different. That's the thing. I don't know. Whatever. I said my piece with it. I don't like that fight with this game. I'm not gonna lie. So, with that being said, I'm gonna give this game, and I thought I was gonna give it a higher score than this, but based off of me talking about it and based off of me reviewing this now, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. I'm giving this a 7. I thought I was gonna give this an 8. But the more I actually sat here and thought about it, they took out the clock tower. They took out the fucking ability to roam around the streets more. They took away so many things. They gave you so much less than you got in the original game. I recommend, you want to play Resident Evil 3, go play the original. You know, do I think that, you know, you shouldn't play Resident Evil 3? No, you should. You should play Resident Evil 3 Remake. But you should probably wait for it to be on sale. I'm sure it may be on sale now. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. But yeah, 7 out of 10. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out of here. Up and away. See you guys.